Alex with Storz. Thank you for making some time to go through these new trays for Dr. Waquette. So this is Dr. Waquette's bariatric laparoscopic instrument tray. All Karl Storz instruments in this tray. It's in this container here that you see. It's an extra long container to accommodate some of the longer instruments like the long needle holder. Other than that, the instruments are a standard length. So the trays that he will be using for his cases are comprised of this, as well as the striker wrap tray. There are different sterilization parameters. That's why we decided to put them in two separate trays. So you guys can see kind of what the tray looks like. It's a 3-layer tray. Let's start with the tray itself. That's right, this is not how it's going to look when everything's put together. But you have 5mm instruments up top, which will be stacked across. 10mm instruments in bipolar down below. Bottom, we have a basket for handles. That will include the bipolar handle as well as some spare handles that he keeps in the set. On the very bottom, this is really important. Oh, sorry, before I move on. The fascia closure device. This also sits in the basket here, or it can sit in the bottom. Something to be conscientious of. This is pretty obvious, but just putting a tick protector on this if we have them, to just make sure no one gets poked. I don't want anyone getting stabbed with this. It is pretty sharp, so just something to keep an eye out for. Yep. We'll come back to sort of processing of that. On the very bottom here, as you can see, these are the caps that they'll use to cap the needle holders. So it just screws on, so it may come down with these on there. So they're little flush ports is what they are, to be able to flush those instruments. So those flush ports are on the needle holders. They're on every outer tube of the laparoscopic instrument. They are also on the fascia closure device. And the one item that we don't have here, which we'll go over, there might be one on the other side there. The other item, it's on the bipolar handle. The handle that you guys have for the puppingers has one of these at the top there. That can get gunked up a little bit, so it's important to flush that out. Any questions so far?
We should have that on there, because I'm going to
So-
get down today. And
So
leave
they
it on
will,
there.
they should take them off before they come back down here to get clean. They may come down here with them on. If they're not, for sterilization purposes, they should be off. So when they leave here, they should be off, but when they come down, they might be on. And if so not something you have to worry about assembling, but if they are on there, there is this little basket in the bottom.
Does it have it on there too?
This right here, it does. So this is for the bipolar handle. Maybe I should walk over there and see if I
didn't
can.
have that.
You didn't have it? Yeah, so 2 of the sets have the bipolar Cleppinger and the nipple. All 4 sets will have this. When we have a point where we can sort of break here, I will show you that other handle, and we can go through assembly and disassembly of that. So again, the bottom basket here, the one thing that will make life a little bit easier for everyone here as well as folks upstairs is when putting this tray together, again, it's 3 layers, it can only go together one way. So bottom basket, think like largest to smallest. So 10mm instruments, that's the way I try to think about it. Well, basket first, you'll see the 4 little pegs there, so that goes down first. Let's do it as we're doing it here. Push that down, make sure it's level. This one sits inside the basket in the bottom. And as you can see, the handles are facing in, so that means, so when I pop that lid, I can lift this out. And this just sits right on top of that there. If for any reason one of the instruments is clinking against the other, you can shift them over and just I've kind of staggered them sort of across so that they don't sort of overlap with each
They're all
other.
going to be put together.
Yes, they will all be put together. So this tray, of course, right now, not all put together, but let's go through what's actually in the set. So you're going to have the 2 needle holders, the short and the long one. All the sets are going to be identical. Nothing should change, except for right now with the learners. And I apologize. I appreciate you guys being patient with us. we got the order on a Monday, and the stuff had to be here on a Tuesday, and it was a lot. So the 2 needle holders. As far as checking these, it's important that they ratchet. So there's a little lever right here that turns the ratchet off. Just checking to make sure this ratchets when we're putting the set together, and just making sure it feels like it should. That really kind of pops into your hand. He's mostly going to use the shorter one. The longer one, he'll just use for a part of the case. So this probably is going to come down and have a little bit more gunk in it than the other one. The other item here. So this is important because, I'm sorry,
No,
I did not mean to splash you.
You're okay. It's okay.
Anytime you have a metal outer tube, this is pretty obvious. You guys have all been doing this for a long time. This will never go on a plastic handle. It's not insulated.
So y'all get that? That's a very important question. Like everybody's been kind of confused about.
It's not broken. It's not designed to go on any handle that's got a pin. Any of these other insulated tubes will go on any handle. So an insulated tube does not have to go on a handle with a pin. It can go on any handle we make, with the exception of the bipolar handle. Or what you'll see is the bipolar substitute handle right now. So let's go through some of the other instruments here. So this is what he uses for the liver retractor, actually. So it's something sort of unique he does. Instead of using sort of a little fan that some surgeons use, he uses this forceps on a metal handle, and the metal handle attaches to the last football to retract it. Works pretty well. So this will be assembled on a locking handle. It looks like this. He's always going to want this on a ratchet.
See, metal to metal. Metal's handle, metal
See that?
shelf.
So if I try to do this, it might look like it. It might look like it's together. It might, but it shouldn't be. Yeah.
So with the, you said, so did we decide to go with the Maryland as being non-ratcheted or ratcheted?
Correct. Yeah. So one Maryland. There's 2 Marylands in the set. Maryland, Kelly, same thing, whatever we want to call it. There is one that's on a ratchet, metal handle ratchet. Just making sure this ratchet is initially off when it goes upstairs, because they're not always going to want to ratchet it, but they want to have the option. And then the other one will be on this right here. And where is the other? So the other one will look like this.
So one,
Sitting down, like the ratchet should be on.
Yep, exactly.
It's all written down somewhere.
Say again.
Is it all written down, like these trays?
You know, the way it should be assembled, we started.
we have like a makeshift count sheet. It is in the folder. We're working on getting one entered into Excel, Cammy creating it and putting it in the format that you guys are used
We
to.
took some pictures. I'm available as a resource any day, anytime you guys need me. I'm going to be here as you guys are kind of getting started with all this stuff, because I know this is all new, and Stryker takes care of the majority of your lap instrumentation. But you saw the difference in the Maryland. So one on energy handle.
This is the same one?
Yes, oh, there we go. So there's one on the energy handle. I was looking for that. Thank you, Michael. And then one on this handle right here. Let's just show everybody what that looks like. So you got one here, one here. Those will be together.
They're both Maryland, you said?
Both Marylands, yes, sir. The next item, 2 valve graspers is what he calls them. So atraumatic fenestrated grasper, just like any other valve grasper you've seen. I like to think we make the best ones, but yeah. Anyhow, so it's unique. This instrument's unique in the sense that he wants it on this handle here. So it's a larger, kind of, we call it like a comfort grip handle. So there's 2 of these in the set that will be on the exact same handle. And here it is right here. We got 1, 2. So you have 2 of these guys. As you can see, as I'm I'll get this together. What's my problem? There we go. So as you can see, as we're putting this together, all these caps are open.